Hello, this is Malorian, and this is going to be another battle report. And for this game here, I thought like, hey, I could do Bretonians to do my next game here, but the problem is that this is a new guy. I've never played against him before, and after our last game, I want to be kind of sure that it's someone that's a solid one for my next campaign game. So what I decided to bring then was my dwarves, because one thing people have been saying is, we want more dwarves. Actually, it's probably just one guy that writes everything in caps, but hey, that's the way it goes into my brain is people want more dwarves. So I busted them out, hadn't played them for a while, just grabbed an old list that was 2,500 points, boom, brought it out. So now what I'm going to have in this list is I'm going to be having, it's a pretty solid list. I got a Rune Lord who is on an anvil that has, the one rune scroll, the Master Rune of Balance. I have my BSB that has the Master Rune of Grommel, +1 strength. He also has the Master Rune of Challenge. And then I'm going to have 40 warriors with great weapons, 40 warriors with shields, banners on each. Then 20 of the Thunderers. I'm also going to be having 20 Hammerers with a banner, 2 organ guns, 2 cannons, no upgrades, and then also 1 rock lava, well not rock, a grudge thrower that has the +2 strength and also the reroll. So pretty solid list, and as well, I have 20 miners with the banner, champ, and steam drill. So just lots of stuff in this list for 2,500 points. Now, my opponent, he's again, like I said, somebody I've never played against before. It turns out he's a vampire player, and he has kind of an interesting list. It was, a mounted vampire who's going to, of course, have crazy stuff because he's the lord and all these things. He's going to have the White King. He's going to have a big block of like 10-ish Black Knights with full command. He has a big, huge horde of 40 of the ghouls. Also a big unit of the 8 crypt horrors. 2 units of dogs, 2 frickin' scream bats, and then he also has a bunker of the zombies with another level 4 master necromancer in there. So overall, a good amount of stuff. I think as well he has another banner of zombies as well. So yeah, interesting stuff, really fast, some really hard-hitting stuff. But yeah, hopefully I can actually have enough shooting for once to kill those scream bats. So we'll see what happens. Bye. Alright, so I'm going to be trying something here. This is actually, we just did a video a little while ago where I said how I make my battle reports. Anthony says how he makes his, and he does his through PowerPoint. And so I'm going to try that doing for this one here, and we'll see if it totally screws up or not. But anyway, here's the left flank of the guy here for the vampires. And you can see here, he got some of his fast stuff. So he got the 2 bats, of course. He has the knights, a little thing of wolves here. But of course, this is going to be fast. It's going to be getting to my flank and cause me lots of trouble. Next thing over here is going to be his more center. So he has his horde, his bunker, and all the rest of it. And the big thing here is, this is kind of the more like slower stuff that moves up. But because the general is so far away, it's actually going to go very slow. So as long as I just stop Van Hel's, I should have a good amount of time to face this. And then finally on the far right, he has another unit of dogs. Looking at my side here, I got my castle set up on this little corner here. So, of course, all the battle war machines here in the back. My BSB is on the far right, so you can cut off those dogs trying to get past me. But it's just kind of like the usual thing for me. So war machines all tucked in the back. Great weapons on the one flank. The inside flank protected by the shield warriors, shooty guys and kill guys when things come in, and also tempt things. And then, yeah, it always seems to really work out for me. And of course the miners, who knows where they're going to come in from. So this is an overview of the board, and one of the things that's kind of weird for this one game is that we rolled the Blood and Glory. So it's like, okay, we get to be 15 inches up, have to be 9 away from the sides. That's why my castle isn't, right up, edged up against the side. And then I started looking, I was like, okay, you have a general and 1 banner. Do you have any banners anywhere? Another BSB? No? Oh, well, I guess I win. Hooray! But of course, we're still going to play this out. I guess he's really not used to running scenarios, and this is where, of course, it really comes in, right? If you're not prepared for Blood and Glory, you're not prepared for Watchtower or something like that, you're going to have a bad time. And he also, there's going to be an awesome tournament coming up, Warhammer, that he's going to as well. So it'll be good for him to, get this a little bit of a learning thing here. But it's not like we just said, the game's over, whatever. We're going to still play this one out. So really, my plan here is to try and shoot off all his guys there on the far left, the bats. They're one of my first targets. Like I said, his stuff's going to come in nice and slow. Hopefully, my miners can come to the back and hit that bunker. And in the end, one of the things I'm really missing is this list didn't have any flaming runes on the war machines. So that's going to hurt me for all his regen there for his crypt horrors. But overall, I think I have enough firepower to deal with him. He gets first turn. I couldn't believe this happened. I mean, I have the +1 and stuff, and it really is important for me to get first turn, but I didn't get it. So he gets first turn in the left flank, really zipping up, right? This is where he's super fast, and his guys are right there in my face. Over here, a little bit more slow. I mean, with the Vanguard, his dogs got up there a little bit, but otherwise, just kind of moving up a tiny bit. Only really thing he got off here is in his magic phase, he went for Van Hels, and I actually just used my scroll, like Dispel rune, to stop it, just to be sure, because I really need this to be a lot slower, this center part here. So, my turn 1, I start things a little bit awesome, and my Grudge Thrower explodes. And then otherwise, over here on this flank, I'm able to destroy the one Terrorgeist, so that's nice to take out. One of the things that we're really tried forcing here is the whole thing where you have to see the point on the ground where you're shooting. A lot of times the people I play with don't play it like that. They play that you need to just see your target and then you say whatever. But I guess more to the rules, you have to actually see the point on the ground. So that made it a little bit harder to actually get any shots on the left guy here, but whatever. I'll have another turn to shoot him anyway. I tried using the anvil on his knights to slow them down, but I rolled a 1, and luckily it just didn't work this time. Over here on the right side, my BSB actually leaves the unit, so he's ready to go fight them, and otherwise I do some shooting into his crypt horrors, but I mean, thanks to regen and stuff, with me not being able to take it away, I only kill 1 and do a wound, so that's really it. And this is kind of like an overview of the whole battle here. So I'm still liking it. My castle is holding. I got 1 target down, but there's still a lot more to go. So his turn 2, he gets his guys right over here. He actually goes for a charge on me, needs like a 10 or a 9. I decide to stand and shoot, kill a guy, and he fails. So that's going to really help it. But here's his Terrorgeist in my flank about to scream at me and all that fun stuff. And yeah, here's a scream, 6 dead. And I mean, that's what happens with these guys. They just kill you. The only thing that I like is that really out of everything I have, my Thunderers are more of a throwaway units. They're the unit that I don't care about whatsoever. So overall, with his movement, it looks like this. And man, I definitely misplayed this magic phase. He went for Van Hels on the left, and I threw almost all my dice to stop it. Then he did like a Gaze and a Gash up my shields, killed like 1 guy. Then he went for healing. I failed to stop that with my dice. He got all his crypt horrors back. And then it turned out he had the bound item Van Hales as well. Got off with 1 dice. And so now his left side, everything moved up. So that wasn't really part of the plan. Now really everything's on my face. And yeah, I guess it only actually affected the ghouls. But still, now with those ghouls there as well, I can't really be picking on, say, like the crypt horrors or anything. So my turn 2, I charge my BSB into his wolves here. And I mean, that should be an easy win. And my miners come on here, and I try and use the anvil to charge in, and I rolled another 1. So, anvil, anvil, anvil. So otherwise, at the end of my turn 2, you can see a organ gun is gone because it misfired and exploded. You can see a cannon's turned around because it misfired and can't shoot this turn or next. The other cannon shot into the Terrorgeist, and he rolled his 6+ regen. So, really not getting anything done there. The other organ gun shot into the crypt horrors and did like a wound or 2 or something. Nothing really serious. Something I really was trying to figure out if I could do is move up my Great Weapon Warriors and then be able to flank his crypt horrors with the anvil, but the way it was, he was just too far away. I couldn't get to actually be in the flank, and in the end, wouldn't have mattered because I was going to fail it anyway. So now I'm going to have to take a whole bunch of charges and see how it goes from there. And here comes the charges. I mean, it's 1 unit for each. He has the ghouls on my shields. He has the cryptors into my hammers, and he has the zombies into my great weapon warriors. And I think that's good because I'm going to be steadfast, stubborn, and on the right side, I should be able to just wipe them out in one go and then flank the cryptors on my turn. Otherwise, he charges my thunders here, and I decide to flee. And by all rights, I should be off the board, but I rolled a 4 and just barely stayed on. Otherwise, Terrorgeist comes over here and screams off a cannon. And then this is the end of his turn here. His magic phase was a complete bust, really didn't get anything done. His zombies with the Master Necromancer do their best to shamble away, but otherwise you could see that, yeah, the ghouls didn't do so well. The gas or whatever, what is it? The cryptors, they killed a fair number, but of course I'm stubborn, and then yeah, the zombies are dead, and I'm ready to flank. So my turn 3, I'm able to get the miners into the rear here, so these guys will be in some trouble. And as well here, this is at the end of the turn, so the Thunderers rally. I shoot into the Terrorgeist with the organ gun, do 3 wounds, so that's not so bad. Get myself a little beat up in the shields. That's okay, I'm still steadfast. In the middle there, you can see how I charged in with the warriors into the flank, and I really thought I was going to be crushing these guys, but after everything was done, yeah, look, there's still 6 of them there. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to beat them in the long run, but just not going that fast. And meanwhile, yeah, kick those zombies butt in the back, and they'll be all gone next turn. So his turn 4, in come his knights here. My stand and shoot kills like another 2 or something. So these guys are starting to feel the pain from this stuff here. Actually, I think I killed more than that. But either way, yeah, my Thunderers are going to be doomed. He charges his Terrorgeist into my anvil, and whatever, the anvil is pretty much done it's done nothing so far, but it's not going to be doing anything else now probably anyway. And then over here, he goes just for the rerolls, the Van Hels on a bubble, gets it off with Irresistible Force, which is good for him because it's going to be rerolls for his ghouls and his cryptors. But then here, you can see it kills off almost all his knights. He rolls a ton of 1s from my guys, wounds the White King, which he's going to heal with the attribute, and then luckily for him, he does not get sucked into the warp, because that would have been it. Over here, he's able to bring me down just to 2 wounds, so that's a little bit scary. Oh, and this is just with this shooting attack, by the way. And then otherwise, after everything is said and done, you can see his Master Necromancer is dead, along with all the zombies. The cryptors are way smaller now. I'm still barely holding off, but man, this turn, he really, with all those rerolls, killed a ton of shield warriors, and luckily, my anvil held. Actually, I was wondering if I wanted to die so I could shoot it, but because he killed all my Thunderers, he decided to stay on the board, because either I shoot him now, or he runs off the board, comes back next turn, and I shoot him then. So hopefully I can score a few kills on some characters here. So my turn 4, that's what I do. Organ Gun opens up, kills the last champ of the unit, does some wounds, and then the cannon kills off the general. And of course, vampires know once your general dies, bad things are going to happen. So after the turn, the Terrorgeist is gone. For some reason, a Crick Slayer has snuck after my cannon. The Cryptors are all gone, and the Ghouls are still holding out. But I believe if you look here, I think it was this one or next time, but he did a ton of wounds to me. And then when I rolled my saves, I made all but 3 4+ armors, and then 2 of 3 parry saves. So only killed 1 guy. It was pretty ridiculous. His turn 5 then, his White King comes into my flank just to try and do something. And at the end here, yeah, again, he just does not do much whatsoever, and I'm looking for a big counter. And that's what I do. I'm able to charge in both units from the right, move up my miners, use the anvil to charge them in. BSB is to make sure I'm going to pass all my fear tests, and at this point he decides, hey, I might as well call the game. So there you go, a win for the Dwarves, but unfortunately at the end of the day, there's 2 major problems. One, it was kind of like a win before the game even started, right? It was blood and glory, but he didn't have enough of the fortitude, so he would have failed right away. So really the game would have even happened. And, it's one of these things where it's kind of like a goofy game where all this stuff happened where, even though it was not blood and glory, really the way we played it, he started up closer. stole first turn, all my stuff blow up, stuff failed. But at the end of the day, one of the things that was also a screw up is majorly on my part. Because for my part, I always just, for my dwarves, what I've always been doing the entire 8th edition is I just take a rune lord with an anvil, with a shield, with the one dispel scroll rune, and the one master rune of balance, right? Every single time I take that, like 99%. Now here's the problem. At the end of the day, they were talking like, oh man, if only the Terror guys would have taken out that anvil, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody was asking like, well, how many points is this thing? And I look at my list, and I didn't have it. I had a rune smith with those 2 items. So of course, when I just grab the list, throw my stuff together, yeah, there's my rune lord guy, yeah, BSB. I didn't even freaking look at it. So Malorian was a cheater, bad Brian, or bad Malorian. But the big thing here is that, and the reason why I still made this battle report is that even though there was a mess up with the Blood and Glory, after I realized I screwed up and I had like an extra like 200 points on the guy, is that the game was still an interesting game. Lots of funny things happened. It could have gone either way if, some of those combats would have gone, or maybe with some magic, and, if those knights would have failed some charges and stuff. So I still think it was a great game. Unfortunately, some screw ups. I'm going to be getting another game tomorrow, and this time my list will be legit. I promise. No. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope this new thing with the PowerPoint is working a little bit better. And we'll see you next time. Bye.